Hey guys, it's Sami, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, I thought tonight's Monday Night Raw was a really good show. I thought the show flowed very well. It was a newsworthy-ish show a little bit. I mean, kind of. Great main event. I will say that for sure. I loved the Bron Breakker Sami Zayn match. And yeah, overall, I thought this was a really good, really effective episode of Monday Night Raw. We got a new match announced for Bash in Berlin. We got that mixed tag team match that everybody was expecting. But overall, a good Raw, coming off of last week's good Raw. And we got Luke with us over here as well. Luke, how are you doing? How was your weekend? And what did you think of tonight's Raw?
My weekend was pretty good. We had our family fantasy football draft yesterday. I mean, I feel pretty confident about my team. But as far as Raw does go, I thought it was a good show. I thought the main event was pretty good. I wouldn't say the show overall was like absolutely great or anything, but I thought it was a good show. Main event was good. A new match for Bash in Berlin. I mean, we kind of got a tease of like another potential match of Drew and Seth.
Strap match.
Drew and Punk, I meant.
Strap match.
Yeah.
That should be cool.
I mean, they did tease that for Bash in Berlin.
Did you see the picture of Drew's back after the whipping he got?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Holy crap. I'm going to throw it up on the screen here for a second in case somebody watching didn't see it. Like, holy, give me a second. This up here. This was Drew's back after he got whipped with the belt by Punk. Like, you could see after like the first two shots, his back was already starting to welt up, but bang, dang. And of course, he's got to put the bracelet, Larry AJ, front and center right there so everyone can see it. Of course, but no. That's, oof. That looks like it hurt. But with that, we got a bunch to talk about as far as tonight's Monday Night Raw goes. And I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out on YouTube. You can hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we post to the community tab. And that way you know when we go live. Also, remember, if you want to help us out, you can hit that join button and become a channel member. Maybe you're just like Thomas ONG just did and subscribing there at the tier 1, the donation tier. And that's all we ask. Just a little bit of extra support really goes a long way, even if it is just at that $1 tier. Also, you can subscribe the same way over on Patreon, patreon.com/PWU Unlimited. And remember, to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by heading over and hitting a super chat in the live chat to do that as well. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're getting a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, bunch of new stuff coming to Fortnite. We've got X-Men with Colossus Jubilee and Cyclops. We've got Star Wars skins with IG-28 23, and he's got Grogu on his back throwing up. We've also got the new Marvel season coming on August 16th. It's called Doom Absolution. It looks amazing. We'll be streaming the crap out of that over at twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy as well. But when getting any of the new skins or the new battle pass later this week, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Again, that's PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. With that, as far as a Monday Night Raw does go, the show does open up with Rhea Ripley. We also see the Judgment Day, well, the new version of Judgment Day, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, and Bron Breakker all showing up to the show. So Ripley enters to a huge, and I mean huge, reaction from the live crowd. She said she had a lot of time to consider what happened at SummerSlam. She felt very emotional and said that in a situation like that, it's a little understandable. She felt embarrassed and heartbroken all at the same time, but really, she was just pissed off. It's time to show who Rhea Bloody Ripley really is. She said, this was such a great line. She said, Dominic Mysterio stabbed me in the back, but, quote, just wasn't deep enough. You probably heard that one before. I laughed so hard when they said that line. When she said that line, I howled. Ripley warned Liv Morgan that she couldn't run away forever because she was Rhea Bloody Ripley, and it was time to remind everybody of that. Morgan and Dom then appear in the crowd. They're way up in like the higher level seats. At the top, but like the top of the bowl. Morgan handed the mic to Dom, and they brought back the super loud boos because they haven't been doing it much recently, but it's back, and I love it. Rhea also loved it as well. She said, I love hearing them boo you, but she also did want to hear what he had to say. Dom said that he was now a man, and he deserves to be treated like one. No longer does he have to be talked down to and call somebody his mommy. Dom said that Ripley tried to change him, not letting him be who he is. He was embarrassed and bossed around. But now he has a girl that calls him daddy. She gives me chicken tendies whenever I want and lets me play video games. She also helped him beat his deadbeat dad, something Rhea never did. Ripley had words for Dom that he hadn't heard before. Quote, I'm proud of you. Watching Dom grow into a man is today one of the biggest accomplishments of his life. He finally did something for himself. However, Ripley always wanted Dom to beat Ray on his own. Wanted him to be able to say that he did it himself. Now, Dom was making his own decisions. The most recent would be his last. Morgan told Ripley that she had nothing left. I've got the title. I've got your man, and this is now my division. Judgment Day is mine as well. She said, your family is thousands and thousands of miles away. The family you thought you had here is now mine. You have nothing left. Ripley then told Morgan she made a mistake by leaving her standing, and that would be what kills her. Ripley was glad that Morgan liked the sound of her own voice because, well, it gives her time to find her. And then Damian Priest would come up from behind and attack Dom. They start fighting in the concourse area. Morgan jumps on his back. Ripley finally shows up, and they all start fighting. They finally get back down to the ring. Carlito shows up, and Priest sent him packing. JD was down there as well and took a big choke slam. And yeah, good opening segment with a lot of action and sets up that mixed tag team match that we will be getting at Bash at Berlin. What did you think of this opening segment?
I mean, I thought the opening segment was effective. Like, it's a good opening segment to set up a match for Bash at Berlin. I mean, we kind of expected Damian, Rhea versus Liv and Dominic. My biggest question is who wins, because I have no clue.
Ooh, I haven't even thought about that, but that's a tough one. That's really tough.
Do you go Dominic and Liv just to build it further?
I don't know. Maybe. Because it's
or do you?
So if you go Dom and Liv winning, But then where does that leave, Rhea and Damian with the fans? Are the fans not going to see them as lesser because it's like, oh yeah, you can't beat these two, so yeah, you don't deserve to be in Judgment Day. Of course they're better than you, so they deserve to be in Judgment Day. And then what is it going to be? That's just my whole thing. Is the fact of, I think it may hinder them with the fans as far as if they lose. But I think they might have to win this one. And then you can see so I think, no, I got it. They win. Rhea pins Liv, which then sets up Rhea getting another title shot.
I can see that. I was just about to say that.
Hell in a Cell. So old Dom and Damian can't get in.
So you think they do 2 Hell in a Cell matches at Bad Blood then?
I wouldn't want them to, but it's possible.
Nah, if you do 2 Hell in a Cell matches at Bad Blood, then it's going to be like, oh, this is basically just Hell in a Cell 2.0.
Right, and that is the one issue with doing it like that. I do see that.
Because then, the fans are just going to be like, oh, this is just Hell in a Cell 2.0. Triple H doesn't keep up on his word.
Yeah. You have a good point there. There is going to be, Bad Blood, there will be a Hell in a Cell match, for sure. But
that's probably the main event, Drew versus Punk inside Hell in a Cell.
How do you get to that, though? Because right now they're teasing strap match, maybe in Berlin. How do you get to
do strap match of Punk winning? Then the last match is Hell in a Cell with Drew and Punk.
Here's my question for you. What do you see a Hell in a Cell match being for more? To keep people in or to keep people out?
I would say probably just keep people in.
Okay, then that would make more sense. Because I was like, who are you trying to keep out if you're doing that Hell in a Cell match? It's Seth, but I don't know.
Unless they're going the route for them, these two hate each other. Let's lock them in here so they can just beat the crap out of each other.
Right.
We do use for one of those ways.
True. So going forward, we do have a couple of bit donations here on Twitch. Muscleman85 did state, is Ricky Starks to WWE most likely confirmed? And when will they do Bronson Reed versus Seth? Couple things here. So Ricky Starks to WWE, not confirmed. It's something that people think is going to happen. Also, just because he and Jade Cargill had dinner together yesterday or the day before means nothing. Just because they went out and had dinner together means absolutely nothing. They're friends. They've been friends since she showed up in AEW. They've got a close bond in relationship. It means nothing. So all these websites posting, oh my God, they had dinner together. She's recruiting him. She's bringing him to WWE. No. As far as Seth and Bronson, that's something we got to wait on because we don't know. Seth's banged up to the point where he needs time off, and we don't know how long. So really it's going to be Bronson Reed going to beat a bunch of people up till Seth can return. It's a wait and see kind of thing. And
I think Seth's just taking time off with an ankle injury, I believe. Something with his ankle, I think.
Who? Seth?
Seth.
I didn't hear that. I just heard that he's still pretty banged up. I don't know if maybe it could be an ankle, maybe it could be the knee. We do know that he had knee surgery, and most thought he came back, quicker than he should have. So could be still from the knee. I don't know though. I'm not 100%. Esports Gaming Rules with a bit donation says Baby Metal and Electric Callboy is doing the theme song for Bash in Berlin 2024. Never heard of either of them, so I don't know. Baby Metal is coming to my city of Cincinnati, and also it looks we could see hip hop royalty in the Atlanta from the return WWE Bad Blood 2024. I don't know who he is, but there is the hip hop star that Cody did the Bad Blood commercial with. I have no clue who he is. I don't know if you know. I don't follow that kind of music, so I don't know. But
is it Metro?
That sounds familiar. That sounds like a name they may have said. Again, I don't know. I only listen to country and some other things, but not much of anything else. Usually it's if somebody else changes the radio. So we'll see on that one. But I think the name Metro sounds familiar from the commercial. And then Muscleman85 also with another bit donation. Thank you for that. Says, when do you think Ricochet will go to AEW, or do you think there's a slight chance WWE can bring him back? No, I don't think WWE brings him back. I think we're getting another Mercedes Moné situation where he's already signed and they're just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Because Mercedes signed with the AEW in January and didn't come in until March. So I think it's another one of those situations. Also, you see Tony Khan with over there, we got the biggest announcement in AEW history coming soon. Yeah, whatever.
You can't even take his announcement seriously.
No.
At this point, he's gonna be like, I have a special announcement, and my special announcement is an announcement.
He's done that before. He literally said, I have an announcement on a Dynamite, and then the announcement on Dynamite was, watch Collision this week to see something get announced for whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he literally had an announcement. Watch Dynamite for something to be announced, just to say we're announcing something on Collision. What the fuck, Tony Khan? Anyways.
Or like, I think the biggest waste of an announcement was ticket sales or you could buy tickets for All In on this day.
Oh yeah, like 9-10 months early.
Yeah, like
huge announcement this Wednesday on Collision, and then it was like people, like it was like a select few. It was not even like anybody. It was like people that were signed up and got an access code to this kind of pre-sale. It was like a special pre-sale too for like people in the UK. I could be wrong on that though, but yeah, very weird. So as we saw, Carlito had came down during that last segment because, well, Carlito taking on Damian Priest. And this is the second week in a row they've utilized this, where there's a segment that feeds directly into the first match, where by the time that opening segment is over, both guys in the first match are in the ring ready to go. So this is the second week in a row on Raw that they have done that. So Carlito had enough through the break, as the match did start during the break. I think the match went a little close to like 9.5 minutes or so. We really didn't see much on TV though, because again, a lot of it happened during the break. Priest did come back with the Falcon Arrow, clothesline, and a South of Heaven at the end to get the victory. Not much to the match. It was more of, hey, you're going to go through a break, you're going to come back, you're going to have like 2 minutes, and then match is over. So whatever. It was more of the post-match anyways. Judgment Day attacked Priest afterwards. Ripley's music hit. She kicked Carlito in the balls in the aisleway. JD McDonough then took a super kick for Balor in the middle of the ring, and Priest gave him a big choke slam. Priest and Rhea hugged. Dom actually tried to attack them by jumping off the top rope, and then you could tell exactly what was coming as far as him getting saved by Liv, because, you know, Rhea's picking him up for that riptide, and she's holding him and holding him and holding him, and then eventually Liv pulls him out of the ring and saves him. So first like 30 minutes of the show was all Judgment Day stuff. At least close to the first 30 minutes. Not bad, though. What did you think of the match and the post-match?
I mean, I thought the match was just okay. Nothing special.
Exactly. So, Ivy
they basically just got Carlito just wrestling in sweats now.
Hey, Carlito's living his best life. He's having fun. You can tell.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't really have to do much either.
Nope. Ivy Nile told Maxine Dupree backstage that she probably shouldn't be at ringside for the match tonight. Nile was sincere, but Dupree said that she wasn't leaving her family, Otis and Tozawa, behind. Nile then figured Dupree might have said that and then left. We got a Bo Dallas video. There was a new Wyatt 6 VHS featuring Bo Dallas. He said everything was coming full circle. It's been heavy lately with lots of emotion. The Wyatt 6 debuted in Baltimore last week, just as the original Wyatts did as well. He, Bray, was there in spirit, he said. Something big was happening, but the work wasn't done. He repeated the phrase, quote, "My life for you," as shots of Uncle Howdy were spliced in. Very interesting. I don't know what that, do you know what that tagline's supposed to be? My life for you? Is that maybe him saying, I am doing all this for Bray?
Yeah, I think so. I'm dedicating my life to like your legacy or something.
That makes sense. Muscleman85 with the bit donation says, Who do you think feuds with the Wyatt Six next? That's a good one and a big head scratcher. If we look,
I assume the Chad Gable stuff is done.
Same,
I assume.
Same. So if we look, and you got to think the Raw roster. Do they just go after
Jey
one?
Uso.
I mean, it's possible. Do they just go after one person or do they go after another group?
If it was after another group, who would it be? Like the Final Testament?
No, I don't think they go after heels. Would they? Well, I mean, yeah, I'm wrong on that already. Chad Gable was a heel. No. I think, and I'm not saying they are, but they're like kind of similar, too close style gimmicks, I guess you would say. They're both like darker brooding gimmicks or whatever. Good question. Let me see. I'm gonna look at the roster.
I think it's a good chance it might be like Jey Uso. They beat up Jey Uso so bad to where Jey has to go to SmackDown.
If we're looking, what if they feud with the LWO?
They need something for the LWO, I guess.
Exactly. Dragon Lee was back tonight, so that was good to see. He worked the main event tapings.
Jeez, did you see Meltzer was like trash on WWE for like how they were using Dragon Lee?
No, I did not. If he did it over the weekend, I've been out of the loop. I was working out of town all weekend.
Oh, I think someone asked him like how WWE would use the Lucha Bros if they signed with WWE. He said, I don't know, but hope they said. I think he said, I don't know if I have much faith in that, considering how they're using Dragon Lee.
He's not wrong. They're not using him that well. All they did was just throw him in with the other Mexicans.
Basically, like when he went to SmackDown, everyone thought he was just going to be his own guy.
But I hoped. That's why I'm glad Andrade hasn't been just lumped in with all that. Like he worked with them a little, but he hasn't been lumped in now going forward.
Like right now, he's feuding with Legado, I believe.
Kinda, maybe, because they did that number one contender match on SmackDown for the U.S. title. So I don't know if you would say he's feuding with them because it was just for the number one contendership. He's over there killing it on speed. That's what he's doing. It's WWE speed, not like the drug speed.
Oh,
he's speed champion, baby.
He also beat the crap out of Carmelo Hayes. I mean,
yep. I don't know what
for Hayes, though.
I don't know what they're doing with Carmelo on the main roster, but looking at the Raw roster and who the Wyatt Six would even go against, like I don't know, LWO is the only thing that makes sense. We're gonna do attack Miz and Truth next. Go after Miz because Bray did it one time.
Go after all of Bray Wyatt's old enemies.
Go after Miz now. Go after Seth later.
Finn.
I
can hear my voice echo.
Did you?
A little bit, yeah.
When you said what? Finn?
Yeah.
I think we said it at the same time. Anywho, if you hear it again, just let me know and we'll fix it.
All right.
So moving forward, Xavier Woods approached Kofi Kingston and Odyssey Jones backstage. Woods says that he's been looking for Kingston everywhere because he wanted to talk about tonight. Kingston was excited and also wanted to talk about tonight. He said, hey, remember how Odyssey Jones was there for us last week in our corner? And well, we're going to be there for him tonight in his corner in his debut. Which is like, cool, but wasn't like super thrilled about it. Was like, all right, if that's what we're doing, I'll be there. I don't know what. Is Woods going to turn on Kofi?
It looks like it. Like maybe Karrion Kross is right.
This is weird. But again, Woods did recently say New Day will never break up. He said that in like an interview and stuff.
Unless like Odyssey Jones like attacks Kofi and Woods.
I don't know. This is like the weirdest story I've seen in a while. So speaking of Odyssey Jones, he had a 1:45 match against, they said, Performance Center trainee Vincent Winey. Winey is a former... go for it.
Fun fact, Vincent Winey is actually Cora Jade's new boyfriend.
Cool.
Like, she posted on her like Instagram story of his match.
Nice. So Winey's a former football player working out at the Performance Center. Not much happened in this match. Again, it went 1 minute and 45 seconds. And Odyssey Jones beat him with a spinning sidewalk slam. Basically like the black hole slam. Afterwards, Karrion Kross would come out with the final testament. Kross warned Woods that Jones would be his. So he said, people think that Odyssey Jones is going to be the replacement of Big E, but that's not what it is. Woods, Kofi's looking to replace you. Woods asked if Kross wasn't tired of doing the same thing every single week. Woods is about to challenge to a singles match. And then said, you know what? How about a tag team match? 2 of you versus me and Kofi. And Kofi just yoinks the microphone from him and was like, hey, you know what's going to happen if we do a tag match? The third odd man out is just going to get involved anyways. So how about a 6-man tag? The 3 of them versus the New Day and Odyssey Jones. Kofi then said, what do you say? Final testicle. And then Woods is like, it's testament.
That was
testament.
pretty good.
I think he really messed up. And Woods, because the way Woods was like, it's testament. Was not like a joke kind of thing. It was more like, oh, you messed up. It's this real name. Like, I don't know. It could have, they maybe got me. But for some reason, to me, I feel like Kofi had a slip up. But next
Didn't,
week,
Pat McAfee respond to that?
Oh, I don't remember. If he did, I
Or
didn't
Michael
hear
Cole?
it. If they did, I didn't hear it. But next week it will be the Final Testament versus the New Day and Odyssey Jones. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Does the New Day win and Xavier Woods turns on Kofi?
Ooh, what if Kofi tags into Odyssey more than Woods? And so they're tagging each other in and out and Woods feels like the third wheel.
Maybe.
Very possible. Also,
I don't know who wins this. I really don't.
Probably the baby faces, I think. Unless there's some
that'd be worse.
Unless there's some dissension between Kofi and Woods that leads to, Final Testament getting the advantage and then taking over and winning. But I think if it's just straight up, baby faces win. Also, I was in Dallas this past weekend. I found the WWE Prime. It's just the Meta Moon flavor. It's not even a special flavor. They had a whole rack of them at the grocery store in Dallas. So moving forward. Actually, we got a bit donation here from Esports Gaming Rules. He says, what do you think of Finn and JD coming home to OTT for WWE during OTT's 10th anniversary show? So it's home for JD as far as OTT does go. Finn's never worked for OTT. JD was their first world champion. So really cool to see that. We don't know if they're even going to have a match. All they said is they will be appearing on the 10th anniversary show. So we have to wait and see. Did you see that news over the weekend?
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, it's awesome that WWE... I think it's awesome that WWE is letting their talent branch out and do stuff like this.
Especially the champions.
Yeah. Because the night before DIY lost the tag titles in Cleveland, they went to an AIW show and they appeared there as tag champions. So really cool on WWE letting their talent go appear or do things with indie promotions and whatnot now. Ooh, Jonathan says, what if Xavier leaves with the Final Testament next week? That's what they want you to think.
That would be interesting.
That's what they want you to think is eventually going to happen. So Drew McIntyre approaches Adam Pearce backstage. Pearce told him that CM Punk was not here because he's having travel issues. He may make it, may not. McIntyre didn't care about Punk and wanted to know why SmackDown's Randy Orton is getting a title shot instead of, someone on Raw. He said Orton got screwed 3 months ago and he sat around and waited for his opportunity. And basically Drew was like, yeah, I know what happened. It's whatever. But that was 3 months ago. Why? Orton, no. McIntyre then planned to take care of things on his own with this. Pearce didn't like the sound of that. McIntyre assured him he'll be on his, quote, best behavior. As we learned, CM Punk fooled us all, fooled everybody backstage as far as saying that I'm running late because I had travel issues. So Otis and Tozawa entered for their match. Obafemi was shown at ringside. They talked about how he's doing a NXT North American Championship Open Challenge tomorrow night. And they had a little stare down between him and Otis. So maybe Otis comes to NXT tomorrow. We don't know, but maybe. What if it's Joe Hendry?
I think it would be cool if it was someone from TNA, honestly.
Same. That's why I'm like, what if it's Joe Hendry? He did say last week, you're gonna keep seeing me around here for a while.
I'm trying to think who would it be from TNA though, instead of Joe Hendry. Moose?
I mean, earlier you suggested Josh Alexander.
That would be cool, but at the same time, I don't think they have Josh Alexander lose quite yet.
Right.
They probably want to do something with him and Ethan Page.
Also, I feel them showing Obafemi in the crowd means that he might be getting called up soon. Why show him on Raw if he's not?
I mean, I wouldn't call him up quite yet.
I don't know how soon is. Go for it.
They could still use him a lot more in NXT, not just as North American champion. True. Honestly, have him be the NXT champion once he's done being North American champion.
Yeah, I can see that.
Honestly, if Trick still had the belt, have him feud with Trick.
Trick's now working with Pete Dunne, which is so weird because now it's weird that Trick's working with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's working with Sheamus on Raw. Screw it. Throw Pete Dunne on SmackDown.
Sheamus is working with Ludwig as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete Dunne working with everybody almost.
Apparently Pete Dunne's been doing some producer stuff with NXT as well, getting trained up for that kind of a role. I think he's
also doing
speed matches.
Yeah, he was producing the speed matches.
Right. So before this next match, they showed Chad Gable, who was in Paris for the Olympics. Gable said that he needed to get away, but was also there to watch the Olympics, and he was doing some scouting for WWE, he stated. Gable knew that he had to get back home to take care of unfinished business with the Wyatts. So, I mean, I think they move on, but there may be like one more small little thing they do with American Made before they move on from the Wyatts. Because he said unfinished business with the Wyatts. They also talked about a WWE NIL athlete. I'm going to butcher this name. Massey Russell, female runner. She won the gold in the 100-meter hurdles. Mentioned again, like I said, she was part of the WWE NIL program, and then says that hopefully she becomes a WWE superstar one day. Just because you got people under that NIL deal does not mean they will eventually sign with WWE. But if they could bring in a non-wrestling Olympic gold medalist, that would be a first. They do have an Olympic gold medalist in NXT that people don't realize.
Fabian Heights.
No, he is not a gold medalist.
Oh, he's not?
No. It's Tamara Mensah Stock, the female that won the gold medal the same year as Gable Steveson.
Really?
She has worked. What's the Friday NXT show? On the tip of my tongue. NXT. Someone tell me in the chat. It's on the tip of my tongue. She's worked that, and they changed her freaking name. She's
Level Up.
Level Up. Thank you. But they gave her a new name, which is weird. She's a freaking Olympic gold medalist. Granted, most people don't really know who she is, and like her name is not going to have as much cachet behind it as a Gable Stevenson's name. But it's like you've got this real life female wrestling Olympic gold medalist, and you just change her name. Come on, freaking WWE. She was. If you watched NXT last week when they were doing the Hank and Tank barbecue party segments, you could see her once or twice as just like an extra in those segments.
I mean, what was Damian Kemp a gold medalist or no?
He never went to the Olympics. He was just college.
Oh.
Speaking of Damon Campbell, Bobby Stevenson As of today, he's a free agent and wants to continue in pro wrestling, unlike his brother Gable, who's with the Buffalo Bills.
I wonder why was he released? Was it because like I saw something where like he apparently there was no improvement in his wrestling
For Gable Steveson?
for Damon Kemp.
Oh, no, they like Damon Kemp, but his contract came up and they were just like, we're not going to re-sign you. Literally, that's all it was. His contract expired and they told him like a month in advance, just so you know, you're not getting re-signed. No reason given that I know of. But no, his brother, Gable Steveson, totally, he did not progress the way they thought he was. And WWE screwed him on the Olympics. If they would have told him like a month sooner or earlier, then he could have went to the Olympic trials and tried out for the this year's Olympic team. But because when they told him you're being released, it was too late for him to train and get ready for the Olympic trials. Literally, if they would have told him like a month sooner, he could have gone in and been on the Olympic team and probably would have won another gold medal. This year's men's wrestling team for the Olympics in the U.S. was not good at all. I don't think no one medaled as far as the men go. And I think the best, I don't know what weight class he was in, but the best male wrestler for the U.S. got like a 5th. All the rest didn't even place. Yeah, our wrestling team sucked this year. You see the one girl that got German suplex on the back of her head? Right on her neck?
I did not.
Oh my God. This girl, I won't show it because like you even try to show Olympic stuff and they're going to like shut you down. But she got German suplexed on the back of her head and neck and had to be stretchered out of there. Like it was brutal. Hold on. There's a great picture. Let me pull it up really fast. There's like a amazing photo of it. Actually, there's a couple amazing photos of it. I'm going to pull these up. Hold on. Oh, here's the one. Here's the one. All right. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Where is this image? Oops. Open. So here's like the first shot of it. You're taking the German suplex. You can already see she's coming down hard. And then that.
Yeesh.
Yeah. Right?
It's like a WWE botch.
Like, and look, as you see right here, perfect form on the toes. Perfect form on the toes. As far as this tag match does go, because they were in Austin, Texas, they did a, quote, Texas Tornado tag match. No tags needed. So Otis press slammed Tozawa onto the Creeds early on ahead of a commercial break. Not much happened before that. The Creeds were in control after the break with no actual info given as to how they got the advantage. Tozawa dropped them with a double DDT. Otis then ran over and smashed Julius before hitting a caterpillar, but Brutus broke up the cover. The Creeds then double teamed Otis, but Tozawa broke up the cover. Brutus then tried to powerbomb Tozawa off the ropes, but Tozawa brought him down with a great looking Hurricane Rana. Tozawa fired up on the Creeds and went for a suicide dive, but the leg kind of caught the rope and he fell awkwardly. Julius did his best to catch him and not get him to, land hard. That one did not look good. Julius got Otis on his shoulders at one point, and they did the electric chair drop as Otis simultaneously brought down Brutus with a superplex. Tozawa immediately followed this up with a flying senton on Julius. The crowd went wild with holy shit chants. All of a sudden, Ivy Nile shows up out of nowhere and just attacks Maxine Dupree at ringside. She throws her on the announce table, puts her in a dragon sleeper, and this attack distracts Otis. It allows the Creeds to knock Otis out of the ring. They then stack up Tozawa, roll him up, and pin him 1, 2, 3. And then Ivy celebrates with the Creeds afterwards. So Ivy Nile is American made and now a heel. What do you think of the match and the Ivy Nile heel turn?
I expected it.
I did too eventually. Not like tonight, but eventually I did.
Yeah. I mean, how would you really build that off? Like, Ivy keeps talking to the Creeds, like, what are you guys doing? And then eventually she gives up and turns heel with them.
What do you mean? Because we got the heel turns.
She's going up. Like, she goes up to Julius and Brutus, like, what are you guys doing? This isn't you guys.
Well, she's
like,
done that once.
Stick together.
Right, and she's done that once. But then, like, there was kind of no follow-up until tonight. So
I guess.
I feel like it was just a little out of nowhere, and they could have had done a slightly better build to it. Like, they tried to earlier when she told Maxine, don't be a ringside. Like, okay. What? That was the weird part. It was like, don't be a ringside if you know what's good for you, or something like that is what she told her. So I don't know. But it's like, okay, she's a heel now. I feel like there's too many female heels on Raw now.
Who?
I think in the female division of Raw, there's too many heels now. You think about it. Because now there's...
Well, you got...
Let's see. Alba Fire. Let's go.
Alba, Isla, Dawn.
Alba and Isla. Well, I'm going alphabetically through because I got the Raw roster pulled up here on my screen. I'm going alphabetically. So you got Alba Fire. I'm not going to count Asuka because she's out injured. But you have Dakota Kai. So that's 1 and 1.
But can you really say Damage Controls are like heels, though? You could say they might be baby faces.
That's what I'm saying. Damage Control are considered baby faces now. They're full baby faces listed on the roster sheet backstage. Baby faces. So you got Isla Dawn. So that's 1. You got Io. Ivy is now a heel. Kyrie, Katana Chance, Caden Carter. Maybe I'm wrong. Kiana James is supposed to be a heel, I think, but we haven't really seen her. You got Lyra Valkyria as a babyface. Maxine as a babyface. Rhea's a babyface. Scarlett's a heel. Shayna's a heel. Or heel. Sonya's a heel. Zoe's a heel. Zelina's a baby. That's about even, actually, then. If you count Scarlett, it makes it about even.
Yeah.
James, I'm not quite sure. I would assume heel because she was a heel in NXT. But it's like, where the hell did she go? Or she disappear too? Oh, Liv Morgan 100% a heel now. Like, that's not even a question. Muscle Man with another bit donation says, when do you think Jimmy returns and when does Talatonga debut as well? Jimmy could return depending on what they do at Bash in Berlin. Maybe they do a tag match or something. Jimmy could return this week. I think Talatonga Bash in Berlin maybe.
Or Hikuleo?
Yeah, Hikuleo.
I think Jimmy's gonna return. When he does, he's going to screw over the Bloodline, costing them the tag titles. That's the only logical way to have Jimmy return. They defend the tag titles, let's say, against DIY. Jimmy returns. Let's say Tonga Loa gets that roll-up pin.
Right.
And DIY new champs, and then, yeah, Jimmy screws them.
I can see it.
Then Hikuleo or Talatonga, I can honestly see him debut this Friday.
I think
like Roman's cutting a promo.
I think you wait and do it at the pay-per-view because Solo debuted at a pay-per-view. Tonga Loa debuted at a pay-per-view. Talatonga, do it at the pay-per-view. I think it depends on what the plan is for the pay-per-view with the Bloodline because I have no clue. Maybe something with Roman.
Tama Tonga debuted the SmackDown after Mania.
Right. And then Jacob was a SmackDown as well. Which,
unless you want to like even it out.
Update on Jacob, not that bad off. Apparently he's slated to potentially return by the end of the month. Some thought it was a serious injury, but most don't think that anymore. So that's good to hear.
So he'll return after Bash of Berlin then.
Unless it's like maybe at that show. Maybe before, right around then, I would say, because the PW Insider report, and I could pull that up and read it really fast. PW Insider report was, get it right here. In regards to Jacob Fatu, PWInsider.com is told he's currently expected back before the end of the month. One source, when told there were talent who thought he was legitimately hurt at SummerSlam, blew the idea off now. So, expected back at any time. Esports Gaming Rules says, would you like to see Roman speak as a face on the final SmackDown on Fox or SmackDown's return to the USA? I'll tell you right now, Roman Reigns, whether he's a heel or a baby face, speaking, he's going to be the exact same as he's always been. He's going to say the acknowledge me. He's going to talk the same way. It's all going to be the same. I have a very, very good feeling that it's the same character, but now he's going to get cheered. That's all it really is. Do you have any thoughts on if Roman's going to be portrayed any different?
He's just going to get cheered.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think it's going to be the same, but get cheered. And then this person
like
says, go for it.
Like Roman's just going to be like, so what? You think you're the tribal chief now? You think you're the head of the table?
Yeah. Esports Gaming Rules with no one says, if it's SmackDown on USA, is it The Rock's return? No. I think The Rock's... Trying to think. Rock said they're going to start filming Moana the live action soon. Like this early fall. October could be. He might already be filming that movie. I don't know the exact schedule for that though. They're going to film that in Hawaii. Also,
I don't even know when Rock's coming back.
Also, speaking of The Rock, you see The Rock's new Disney movie? The announcement they made over the weekend? The Rock's making a goddamn Monster Jam movie. Literal Monster Jam, monster trucks. Like, not just like, oh, it's a movie called Monster Jam. It's got the Monster Jam logo and everything. He's playing a monster truck driver in a Disney movie.
Huh.
Teamed up with,
that's cool.
Disney's teaming up with the Monster Jam. Also, new trailer for Moana 2 came out this weekend. Looks amazing. Can't wait for that movie.
Do you know, I actually just realized yesterday.
What?
So I was on TikTok, and I don't know if you have TikTok or like, how often do you go on it?
Not too often. I mostly scroll. If I'm going to watch content like that, it's mostly Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts.
Or have you ever seen those TikToks, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram Shorts where like they're showing like clips of like TV shows or movies, and the next short's like it's that same episode of a TV show? So I was on TikTok, and they were showing one of that 70s show. I didn't realize that there was an episode where they had The Rock play Rocky Johnson.
Yeah, he played his dad on that 70s show. Yep.
Then that
was like one of his first. That was one of his first acting roles, if not the first.
Yeah, they did a part where he's like I'm raising my son to be the most electrifying superstar of all time. And
yeah,
they're like, well, good luck with that.
It was ridiculous, but cool all at the same time.
They had Ken Shamrock in that show as well.
Yep. Trust me, I've seen all of that 70s show. Let's see.
I tried to watch that 90s show. That 90s show is just not that good.
I like it. So
I think it's just okay. Like that 70s show is pretty good.
So according to IMDb, that 70s show is his first non-WWE related credit. It says he did that 70s show, and then he also played a character a year later on Star Trek. Those are the first two things he did. But yeah, Rock's going to be busy. He's going to be busy coming up here in October, because in October, they're probably going to start media to promote Moana 2 that comes out, I want to say November. And then they're going to start filming the live action Moana based off the first movie coming up at the end of the year. They said early fall, but I had heard some other reports and stuff that it said it could be December time, but filming in Hawaii. So it's great weather year round out there for the most part. You film whatever, but yeah, Rock's going to be pretty busy coming up. I know they do want to, the rumor is him and Cody next year at Mania. So even at best, he shows up around the Rumble.
I mean, Do you think it's Cody versus Roman for the belt? I mean, Cody versus Rock for the belt?
I mean, they did tease that on that Raw after WrestleMania. What if The Rock shows up and wins the Rumble?
I don't want that to happen. unless the winner of the Rumble chooses the World Heavyweight title and Cody's cutting a pro on SmackDown. It's like, well, I guess I need an opponent for Mania. Then out comes The Rock.
Then what do you do with Elimination Chamber?
Mid-card belt.
Yeah, I can see that.
They did that for United States Championship. They had Logan Paul return to attack Seth and cost him the belt.
Right.
They can do that for like the United States belt
True.
or something. That's what they could do. They could do that for either United States or Intercontinental belt. And then the women's one, they can just do number one contender winner gets shot the
Give me Braun Breaker. Give me Braun Breaker spearing somebody through a pod or spearing multiple people through pods.
It would be cool. Someone on top of a pod trying to do like a splash, then Braun Breaker spears them.
Like we saw with tonight's finish.
Yeah, but like someone's on top of a pod, though.
Yeah. From higher
I don't
up.
think we've ever seen that on top of the pod, though.
I mean, we've seen people jump off of it, but never get like speared or anything off of it. No, not that I could think.
That'd be cool. I mean, it might hurt Braun a little bit, but
right. Esports Gaming Rules also says WWE and TKO is going to quote waste time for Rock versus Cody, just like Rock versus Roman. What do you mean waste time? And we never got Rock versus Roman, so wrong there, bud. Moving forward, because we're getting sidetracked here.
Rock versus Roman at Mania 40, but the fans turned Rock into a heel.
Not happening. I don't know if we ever get that match now.
It could happen
eventually.
What if we get Rock versus Cody at Rumble, and then
if you're gonna do Rock and Cody, you're gonna give it like a 2-3 month build to WrestleMania and get the most money out of it as possible. What were you gonna say? You said,
I just don't.
One second. Elite Tish, this is Luke, not Nick. Go for it.
That's the first time someone ever called me Nick.
He said, hey, Tim and Nick have good review. It's Luke. Anyways.
You're a few years late.
So Pete Dunne was interviewed by Jackie Redmond. They were sitting in the empty stands before the show started. Basically, I can recap this in 2 sentences. They said, why'd you attack Sheamus? Because Sheamus talked down to me. Sheamus belittled me. Sheamus gave me a stupid nickname. And I was never, they say that I was, how did he say it? Because I really didn't write much of this down. But he said, you got a terrible nickname. Sheamus, everyone says that you fed off of Sheamus, but Sheamus really fed off of me and this and that. And now he wants to show why he is better than Sheamus and that Sheamus didn't quote unquote help him come to the main roster. He helped Sheamus because Sheamus would not have had the great run he had if it wasn't for him. That's all that was. He's like the bruiserweight, I'm the bruiserweight, an 18-year vet, and I'm going to shut Sheamus up. And then like Jackie Redmond tried to say the name Butch again, and he got all mad. He says, I never want to hear that name again. Any thoughts on the interview?
I mean, it's basically the same stuff he's been saying for a while. Like you basically like made me Butch. You gave me a stupid nickname. I'm not Butch. I'm Pete Dunne. I'm the bruiserweight. I think we should get Pete Dunne versus Sheamus at Bash Berlin.
That'd be cool. Or is it going to be Sheamus and Ludwig? That's the question. Ludwig needs a match on that card.
Unless they just do Ludwig versus Sheamus and then Pete Dunne cost Sheamus the match.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I think
honestly, like, I don't know if you saw
on
speaking of like Ludwig and like I'm honestly glad they're doing something with Giovanni Vinci on SmackDown.
I did see that, yes.
Like he's basically like his old NXT 2.0 gimmick again.
Yeah. Yeah, the Italian, I wouldn't say pretty boy, but like, yeah.
He's the Italian like millionaire almost.
Kind of. Yeah, there you go. I was trying to think of the word and I didn't want to say philanthropist because that's not right. I know that's not right. But yeah.
Isn't philanthropy like charity almost?
Yeah. That's why I was like, philanthropy does have something to do with money, but I know that's not the right word.
Philanthropy, that's charity.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's like the Italian like entrepreneur, maybe.
There you go. That's all right. That's a better word. Then we got Raw Physics. And they talked about Bronson Reed's stats. We'd seen this once before for Braun Breaker. Pierce admonished Reed, told him, "You're lucky you only got fined for what you did last week. Seth Rollins is gone with internal bleeding and cracked ribs. We do not know when he's going to be back." Reed said, "Hey, I warned you. Give me competition or I'll find it myself. Now tonight, I want a match or I'm going to go out there and find me someone to fight." And well, we got a victim or two for him. This guy and Kairi Sane got a pre-tape promo in English and Japanese. They were still in control, and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark would pay for what they did to Kairi or to go to Kai. There was a response video from Sonya, Shayna, and Zoe. Our new stable is called Pure Fusion Collective. Yeah, I'm not going to remember that because it does not roll off the tongue. And it just sounds too confusing to even say. The Pure Fusion Collective. Try saying that 5 times fast. Pure Fusion Collective. Pure Fusion Collective. I can't even say it 3. I can't even get to 3. Barely got it 2.
Say toy boat 5 times really fast.
Say what?
Say toy boat 5 times really fast.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. Nope, toy bite, tie bite.
See?
Oh, I started saying tie bite. We got a memorial graphic for Kevin Sullivan. Also, forgot to mention, did you see Paul Ellering's Kevin Sullivan tribute tonight?
The X.
Yeah, the X on his forehead.
I was wondering what that was.
The Kevin Sullivan tribute.
I think the stuff on Twitter that was posted about Kevin Sullivan was dumb.
Oh yeah, very much so. But
I'm not gonna say it, but
Joe Henderson said they just announced Sheamus versus Pete Dunne for next week. They must have announced that on Raw Talk. That was not announced during the show. So
maybe on Raw. We could probably find out on Twitter and see if it was announced.
Looks like Sheamus and old Ludwig at the pay-per-view then. Let's go here. Let's see. Twitter. Don't type in. I'm not seeing it, but it doesn't mean that. Sometimes they don't post everything that comes out of Raw Talk, especially not right away. So I'm not seeing it, but keep an eye out. Oh, I know it was announced. It was announced during Raw. Duh, I'm an idiot. Now I remember seeing this graphic. It was announced during Raw. I just totally forgot. I literally posted the graphic and everything. Yeah, we're getting Pete Dunne and Sheamus next week in Lafayette. No, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Anywho, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire came out to the ring to watch the #1 contenders match. They also showed WWE legend Candice Michelle in the audience. Haven't seen her do anything in a long time. And then we had Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective. I actually had to think about it. It's not a name that's going to roll off the tongue. PFC. We're just calling PFC.
I got Candice Michelle so confused with someone else back in the day.
Who?
I kept thinking that was like Dawn Marie or something.
Oh Lord.
So stuff they did with her back in the day.
Tori Wilson, and Al Wilson, her dad.
I remember when WWE released Dawn Marie, there was a lot of criticism because she was pregnant when they released her.
Yeah, I remember that. As far as this match does go, nothing really happened at the beginning. We went to a break about 90 seconds in. Coming back from the break, they wrestled for another minute, 2 minutes maybe. Guy was in control, but a distraction by DeVille got in the way. Stark tried to super kick Sky out of the ring, but Sky ducked and Stark super kick elbow fire. Sky then had it won, hitting a moonsault, but then Isla Dawn jumped in, broke up the pin, caused a disqualification, and next week we're getting a 3-way triple threat for the women's tag team titles. Who do you think wins? Do you think the champs retain, or we get new champions?
I'd say keep it on the champs right now.
That's what I would do. Moving forward, The Miz is backstage looking all kinds of upset. And Truth's like, what's wrong? You sad that we lost to the Rock and Roll Express last week? And he goes, A-Town down. And he goes, man, you lost to them too? No wonder you're all upset. And then he said, but cheer up. I got you a title match against Bron. He's like, Bron Breakker? Like, yeah, Bron. Right there. Look on the screen. And then they show a TV with a graphic that says The Miz versus Big Bronson Reed. And Miz goes, truth. That's Bronson Reed. And he's like, I knew it was going to be Bron Breakker because Bron Breakker's fighting Sami tonight. And so Randy Orton then appears. And he's like, why are you so down? What's going on? And he's like, I got to fight Big Bronson Reed because of truth. And he's like, you're the Miz. You're one of the most decorated wrestlers of all time. You're a Grand Slam champion, 2-time Grand Slam champion. You got this. And Miz is like, you really think I got this? He goes, yeah, I know you got this, Miz. You got this. He's like, yeah, I'm the Miz and I got this. And he goes to walk off. And Truth goes, you really think he's got this? And Randy's just like, no. I laughed so hard at all of this. I loved it. Any thoughts?
I thought this was pretty funny. Muscle Man in the Twitch chat says, do you think Miz turns heel on Truth soon?
No.
I can see it.
I can see it, but not anytime soon.
Maybe Miz, the only way I see it is Miz says I'm tired of your crap, Truth. You're the reason why we lost our tag belts.
I can see them stretching this out because it's getting over with the fans. Truth getting Miz in matches that he doesn't want to be in. I can see him stretching it out another month or two.
Yeah, I can see it.
Speaking of Randy Orton, he came out to the ring. Huge ovation for the 14-time world champion. Orton said that he won the world title 20 years ago this month, becoming the youngest world champion of all time. History would repeat itself in Berlin when he becomes a 15-time world champion, and out came the world champion, Gunther. Orton wanted the fans to remember this moment because in a few weeks, Gunther would no longer be the champion and will not have free Fridays anymore when he's the champion on Raw. So they teased here. Oh, also, hold the phone. I forgot something from earlier, but hold on. So they teased here. If Orton wins, he goes to Raw as the world champion, of course. But they teased that in his place, Gunther would have to go to SmackDown. That's something new. I mean, Gunther's winning, of course, so it's not going to happen, but it's a new little wrinkle. Also, I forgot to mention, and let me pull up the exact quote, because there was a interesting, quick backstage thing with Adam Pearce on the phone that I forgot to mention. Adam Pearce stated he was on the phone and said, quote, yes, both of them. I want to make it official by the end of the night. But we don't know who and what he's talking about. And there was no follow-up to it. You know what that could lead to? Any thoughts? I have no clue.
I'm not sure. I really don't.
Yeah, he just said, and I'll read it again. Yes, both of them. They want to make it official by the end of the night. But I have no clue who they're talking about at all. Like, both of them? Both of them who? Are we making a trade? Is he bringing somebody up? Someone, I don't know. I was like waiting all night. I saw this segment and I was waiting all night to see follow up, and there was nothing.
I could see there possibly being a trade.
But it's just weird because it says, I want to make it official by the end of the night, and then nothing.
I mean, I could see there possibly being a trade. What if they do another Jey Uso trade?
That's what I was just about to say. Send in Jey to SmackDown.
But for who, though? Who from SmackDown would go to Raw?
Pull up that SmackDown roster real fast.
Randy? Just send Randy over to Raw?
Just Randy's on Raw right now, and you're keeping him on Raw? Maybe. I mean, it would be equal. Jey Uso for Randy Orton, I would feel like is an equal trade. But we have AJ Styles.
I wouldn't do AJ.
Apollo Crews. Well, he's doing stuff with Baron Corbin, so no. Bobby Lashley. Interesting that he's still on the roster, listed as active, even though his contract was supposed to expire last weekend. What if they're just bringing Pretty Deadly to Raw? He said both of them.
That's not a fair trade.
But we don't know if it's Jey Uso, you know? We don't know what this is. Logan Paul.
I mean, Logan Paul's technically like a free agent, though.
Yeah. No, he was drafted to SmackDown with the U.S. title.
He was like protected, though. The U.S. belt was like protected.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're not right. You're not wrong there. Shinsuke? Maybe they finally do something with him after months of nothing.
I don't know what they were.
But the way he said both of them. Yes, both of them means like, I think there's a tag team coming or something. I don't know. And I didn't get any follow up. So we'll have to wait and see. That's something that that stuck with me throughout the rest of the show, and I was just like waiting and waiting and waiting. So like I said, Gunther came down to the ring. Orton wanted the fans to remember this. Gunther would have to move to SmackDown, and Randy would be on Raw. Gunther said that Orton should be the greatest of all time, not just considered one of the greatest. Orton was the most talented man in this business and has been, but he took all of the talent and wasted it. This was a new era, the era of the ring general, and it is his era. There's no room for people who waste their own potential like Randy has done throughout his career. In the future of this era, Orton would have played a role, won't play a role anymore. Orton said that he never claimed to be perfect. He made a lot of mistakes, more than probably anybody in that locker room, but he owned up to all of those mistakes and he changed course. Orton wanted to remind him, I know something. Quote, Orton was the most unpredictable, violent, controversial, and successful superstar in history. This wasn't a curse, but a gift. Orton always did things his way, the American way. He has 5 beautiful kids at home and a hot-ass smoke show of a wife waiting for him in St. Louis. And he's a soon-to-be 15-time world champion. Orton appreciated Gunther's opinion, but that's all that he's got. Done pretty damn good for himself. Of course, all of a sudden, the fans start chanting USA. Gunther didn't think that Orton was unpredictable at all. Very predictable, actually. Gunther had a few predictions of his own. Orton would get beat and get the beating of a lifetime in Berlin and would never be a champion again. When it really mattered, Orton was going to screw up like he always has. Screwing up came natural to him. His grandfather was a screw up. His father was a screw up. He is the biggest screw up of the entire family. This pissed off Randy Orton. He got that old Viper legend killer look on his face, like, I'm going to punch you in the goddamn, like back in the day when he would get super pissed off and then punt somebody in the head, like when he did it to Vince and almost Stephanie. Crowd then waited for Orton to hit that RKO, but McIntyre's music hit instead. Gunther turned his back to see McIntyre come down the aisle, and Orton would hit him with an RKO when he turned around. McIntyre was able to make it to the ring, but then was attacked by CM Punk. McIntyre shoved him and tried to attack, but Punk got him. The two fought for a second before Punk got the belt and whipped the crap out of Drew with it. Drew eventually ran through the crowd and out of the building. What do you think of this entire segment? I felt like it was good, and then the Drew Punk stuff just felt super random, and it didn't fit. For me, at least. What'd you think?
I mean, I thought the Randy stuff was, I just thought of something.
Oh, no, the Randy Gunther stuff was perfect, I thought. But adding the Drew... Adding the Drew Punk stuff just felt kind of random and why for me. Go for it.
I actually just thought of something. Like, what if at Bash of Berlin, like Randy hits an RKO on Gunther, but he says like that's not enough and tries to do the punt. He misses the punt, then Gunther hits his finisher on Randy, and then Gunther retains.
Be a nice finish. I could see that. Gunther. So, I got it. He misses the punt, and as he's turning around to like come back at him, Gunther's right there hitting him with the power to get him with the power bomb or something. Or Gunther's very strong. So what if he goes for the punt, and when his leg comes up, Gunther comes up at the same time, grabs him in the power bomb right out of the punt attempt, and then stacks him down. That'd be cool.
Maybe I can say that.
Well, Jackie Redmond interviewed Sheamus in the back. He's like, I still don't get why Pete Dunne's got a problem with me. Thought we were cool, but whatever. And then Ludwig shows up, and he's like, you and me, it's not over. I gave you a banger last week, and we could do it again. Kaiser wanted to put an end to the Sheamus stuff, and then Sheamus was attacked by Pete Dunne with a shillelagh, and he clobbered his hand with it, and they said, oh my God, he could have broke Sheamus's hand. Let's go forward. Kathy Kelly interviewed Punk backstage. She goes, Punk, I have a question for you. Didn't we fly on the same flight here to Austin, Texas? If so, how'd you have travel issues? Because I didn't. And he's like, I gotta be serious and honest. I told a little white lie. I knew if Drew McIntyre knew that I was here, he probably wasn't going to show up. So I had to lie to get him here and to get my hands on him. And then you saw what he did. He ran out of here. He also said, I don't care about the bracelet. It's Drew putting my wife and my dog's name in his mouth and talking about them that keeps pissing me off. Punk wanted the names kept out of Drew's mouth. Punk said he traveled a long way to get his hands on McIntyre. McIntyre would call him a hypocrite for telling a lie. But McIntyre ran from a fight. And then he like does stuff with the belt and goes, but I think we got an idea of what's coming next. Again, teasing a strap match. And we know Punk loves strap matches. Remember the AEW strap match he had was amazing.
Well, with MJF?
Yep. And then he also had a strap match in a cage with Raven back in the day. Like, that match was awesome.
Have Punk win this strap match, and then at the Hell in a Cell match, have Drew win.
Excuse me, I can see it. That's a good idea. Drew overall wins, leading to Drew going for the world title. Then we
think would you have Drew like dethrone Gunther, or do you think Gunther holds that belt to like Mania?
I think Gunther retains. Keeps that belt for a while.
Do you think Gunther holds that belt till Mania?
Oh, at least.
Gunther versus Seth at 41 Mania?
Not a bad idea. Well, do they still want to do Seth and Punk at Mania, though?
Oh, I could see that. Maybe they have Drew
but also remember, Punk's story is he wants to main event a WrestleMania. But what if we get to Punk and Gunther at WrestleMania?
And that's the main event
of night one.
Is that technically like main eventing Mania?
Yes, because they say that Sami Zayn is main event at WrestleMania. They say that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair have main evented WrestleMania. To me, the real main event is the night 2 main event, but technically, yes. Want to get technical on it. Pete Dunne joining Imperium, not a chance.
No, he ain't joined. Oh, did you see the thing that Gunther said about Timothy Thatcher?
No.
He said, "I love Timothy Thatcher. I just wish he would divert his wrestling skills more. But I respect him for keeping those skills."
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know. Like, I think someone asked him if he would love to see like Thatcher come back. And he said, "I love Thatcher, but I just wish he would divert his skills more."
Wonder what that's supposed to actually mean. That's interesting.
I don't know what that means. I really don't.
So moving forward, we had Bronson Reed versus The Miz. The match went 6.5 minutes. About 90 seconds in, it did go to a break. After the break, Miz made a comeback, including a tornado DDT, and got a one off of it. Miz tried to go for the hit kicks. Kind of got him, but Reed really just no-sold him. Miz tried a springboard crossbody, but Reed caught him in the Death Valley driver. Reed followed this up with another DVD and a tsunami to pick up the victory. Then they did the thing again. And I hope they just do this every week. Bronson Reed killing somebody, because this is just amazing stuff. Getting him so over with the crowds. Reed went for another tsunami, but Truth saved Miz. So Reed gave him consecutive tsunamis instead. Miz then just disappeared. Vanished off the face of the earth. Pierce then came down with a bunch of officials, and they tried to run Reed off. Reed continued with two more until officials dragged Truth away. They stupidly then dragged him to the other corner, so Reed got on the other post and gave him another tsunami. Pierce then yelled at Reed and told him to leave. So they started to leave together, and as Pierce was walking, Reed said, "Screw it," ran back down to the ring, jumped on the top rope, and gave him one more tsunami for good measure. I'm loving this because they're finally getting the Bronson Reed that we know we can get. The Bronson Reed that we have seen before. The killer. I think it's amazing. I'm just smashing people with this tsunami. So. A modern day Bam Bam Bigelow.
That's what some people compared him to.
Granted, Bam Bam did the moonsault, but it's not much different. Big splash, moonsault. Still two big men jumping off that top rope, killing people.
Bam Bam Bigelow, a Hall of Famer?
I believe so. I can tell you right now. Like 99% sure. Hall of Fame. Bam. Oh, maybe not. I clicked WWE Hall of Fame. No. Only. Yeah, I guess not. Never mind. Interesting. Okay.
Hey, do you remember Bam Bam Bigelow being in Major Pain?
I haven't seen that movie in so long. So no, I don't remember that.
He played the biker guy that the kids hired to try to beat up Major Pain.
Huh. Yeah, I don't remember much of that movie. It's been probably 2 decades since I've seen that movie, if not longer.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Nice. Excuse me. So Jey Uso was backstage hyping up Sami Zayn for his Intercontinental title match. Jey said that Sami's going to win tonight, and the two of them going to go after them tag titles and take out the Judgment Day. Zayn got all pumped up, and they did their fancy little handshake. And then announced that at Bash of Berlin, we'll see Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio in a tag match, mixed tag. They then cut to Judgment Day backstage, where Balor gave a little bit of a speech and then said, "Damian, you better watch out, because I'm Backstabber Balor." What? Okay. You gonna help the rest of Judgment Day at the pay-per-view then? Backstab him again? Actually, if anybody in the Judgment Day is a backstabber, it's Carlito, because that's literally his finish. The backstabber.
I mean, I guess Backstabber Balor makes sense. Double B.
Yeah. Next week on Raw, we got 3 things announced. Women's tag titles will be on the line with Apple Fire and Isla Dawn defending against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and Damage Control. Sheamus will take on Pete Dunne. And a 6-man tag team match. It's the New Day and Odyssey Jones versus the Final Testament. This then leads us to our main event of the night. Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And of course, it went to a 3rd fall. Always, these matches go to the 3rd fall. I do not remember the last time there was a clean sweep in one of these WWE 2 out of 3 fall matches. If anybody remembers, let me know in the live chat or the comments below. So about 60 seconds in or so, they did go to the break to try to hit that last break of the night for this 17.5-minute match. Afterwards, Zayn hit a flip dive on Bron, but Bron did get control. Afterwards, Bron hit a spine buster for a 2, and Zayn responded with a tornado DDT for a 2 of his own. Bron then hit a German suplex, but Zayn suddenly caught him moments later with a haluva kick for the win, 7 minutes in to get the first fall. Zayn then tried a moonsault off the barricade, but Bron caught him and literally ran with him on his shoulder and just threw him over into the timekeeper's area. And my thought was, damn, he just killed Sami. Holy crap, we go to a break. Like, literally, he threw Sami over the barricade, kind of flipped over it himself, and his legs came back up, and he kicked the camera. You notice that? The camera goes, whoop.
I did not know.
Yeah. So the camera goes,
did not.
whoop, and then the camera guy catches it, and then looks down over the barricade at Sami just laying there. That's how much force Bron had when he dumped Sami over the top rope or over the barricade, that he was just running and just went straight down with it, and his whole body came up. Yeah, wild. Anyways, at one point there were dueling chants. Let's go Sami, let's go Breaker. This came from after another break. Bron Breaker at one point did hit a Frankensteiner for a near fall. Bron then followed this up with a huge power slam and consecutive spears to get the second fall and tie things up at the 12.5-minute mark. Zayn then tried to surprise Bron Breaker with a crucifix cover, but Bron kicked out at 2. Bron then leaned Zayn against the announce table and hit a flying clothesline off the apron. Bron was willing to take the countout victory, but Sami did make it back in at about 9. Bron went after him, but Zayn hit a sunset flip sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Bron then blocked an exploder and hit an overhead suplex. Zayn then leaped over a spear and applied a schoolboy for a near fall. Bron then followed this up with a drop kick and went for a spear, but Zayn booted him for another near fall. Zayn then tried something off top rope, and as he came down, Bron speared him out of midair and pinned him 1, 2, 3 to retain the Intercontinental Championship. What did you think of this awesome main event?
All right, this was awesome. Now I'm just wondering who Bron Breaker's next opponent will be. Is it going to be Dragunov at Bash of Berlin?
That's what I would assume.
But they didn't really tease anything though.
They have a couple weeks. Well, they have 2 weeks.
Maybe.
Let's see. They have no. When's Bash of Berlin? 31st.
Yeah, 31st.
They have 2 Raws left. 2 Raws. Also, if you are watching live on Twitch, the poll is now live. Go vote. Yeah, they have 2 more Raws, so they got time. Oh, badass Bron Breaker, as they call him now. I liked how he was like, when he goes, "Hey, Pat McAfee, tell me how many dogs we have here in Austin." And Pat's like, "I didn't tell him to say that."
And dude, that entrance that they've been doing for every main event for Raw is awesome.
Yeah, where they have one person walk in, go through Gorilla, and then it's super cool. I like it a lot.
The one they did for Bron was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think they mainly do that for the heels.
It seems like it. Well, not always. I mean,
they did it for Chad Gable last week.
They've done it with Becky before. So I don't think it's just
that's just great camera work right there.
Oh yeah, it's called the one shot. You give them the one through shot.
I don't think I've ever done that before. I was the utility before for a basketball game where you had to wrap that rope behind the camera. I don't know if you see that.
Oh, I know you're talking about
WWE shows.
You were the cable guy?
Yeah, that job sucks.
So I've done.
You got it. You got to know how to wrap cable. I don't know how to wrap cable that well.
So I've done sort of a similar kind of shoot before, but I didn't have any cables or anything on me. It was literally, we have my business, my production company. We own a red Komodo X camera. We put that on a DJI gimbal, and then we put that on it's very convoluted. We then put that on a tilter ring, which was then on a I'm gonna butcher this. What's the name of the freaking backpack gimbal we have? But we have a deal that it's another gimbal that is basically you wear like a backpack and then it comes up and over your head and the tilt ring then connects to that. And so literally it's like hanging in front of you. And so then you can walk and get shots like that, all steady and everything. We didn't have any cables at all. Just we recorded straight to the camera because it wasn't anything live or whatnot. Actually, I could pull up a picture of it to show you. Here, actually. This is the setup. Where is it? Oh, I went too far. So this. You've got the camera on the gimbal, which is then on the tilter ring, which is then the small rig. It's called a small rig. Small rig backpack, little jib thing. And then literally, you can walk around with that all day. And having the backpack and it hanging from the backpack takes all the weight off of you. So it feels like you're not even holding anything. It's amazing. That's a good $15,000 right there. Not cheap.
Yeah, I was the utility. I've done the high up camera where I was like on top of a press box for a football game in 90-degree weather.
Damn. Oh,
I've done
you want to talk about heat? We were shooting photos and video at and I can pull that up too. We're shooting photos and video at a soccer tournament in Dallas, Texas this weekend. It was 101 with like 80% humidity. It was hot. Like it was hot. Here's some of the stuff from, this was the soccer tournament we were at. And then this is same camera with a different lens on a tripod this time. And then we also had a Canon R3 with a 70 to 300 lens on it. We were getting action photography with of the actual games.
Interesting.
Yep. Very cool. That was my weekend.
So did you end up going to Collision?
No. By the time that I was able to order tickets, it sold out.
Oh, really?
Yep. Well, not sold out, but there was like maybe 5 seats left. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to pay 50, $60 for the worst seat in the building.
Did you see RVD's tweet?
About? I didn't see anything
it
all
was
weekend.
I think it was about Collision or something, or maybe it was Death Before Dishonor. He tweeted like, "I want my money back," and someone said, "Well, guess RVD's not going to get booked for AEW anymore."
Jeez, that's wild. But with all of that, I thought Raw was really good. I thought Raw was entertaining, and I will say, easy to watch. It was an easy show to watch. As we go here and we refresh all the polls. As far as the Threads poll does go, 50% didn't like the show, 50% did like the show. As far as the Twitter X poll, 91% liked the show, 91% liked the show, 8% thought it was just all right. Looking at the YouTube community poll, let's refresh that really fast. And 80% liked it, 15% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. YouTube live poll here, 84% liked the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. Finally, the Twitch poll, everybody that voted liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. We'll be back for AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.